What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar with C-Zar Gets Crypto, and we are going to be talking about 4 different altcoins tonight. We're going to start off with Plugin and Luna Classic, Terra Luna Classic, or as some people like to call it, Lunacy, for Mr. Benji III. Then be moving on to SNT and MATIC, finishing it up with MATIC for Mr. J Boy Smith. Moving on from there, guys, let's start doing this TA. Let's get into it. So, looking at Plugin here, I see that you're on Bitmart now. Good job. More exchanges, the better, right? More exposure is always nice. Let's see here. I don't know where to start. Weekly, I feel like, right, I've done this enough times now where I'm starting to remember that this low to high here, yeah, you're right at your 619, 618. Finding resistance at your 382, but you might be finding support at your 0.5. Yeah, you are holding it. That's nice to see. Generally with this, I would think that you go higher. Let's see where you are on this kind of more relative fib, though, from bottom to top. Also at this 0.5, so you got double 0.5 significance. He found support on it before, too. Looks like you like your 0.5. So you very well could be finding support in this area, and you might be getting ready to move up. You might be in some kind of like horizontal channel or some kind of structure up here that's just consolidation. It does look like you are holding this previous area of resistance as support. Also a previous area of support. Love to see it. Your fibs look constructive. Everything looks constructive. The daily RSI is nicely poised. Yes, it is lower lows here, but you have higher lows so far. Just don't close. Really don't close below this line. If you do, it's not all over. I would say closing below here, though, really below about 4.5 cents would make me think that you probably have a little bit more retracing to do. Yeah, you could go down to about 4 cents, maybe 4.2 cents, even lower potentially. You know, it's totally possible. So hold that line, hold that 4.5 cent line, and I think you'll get going. Let's see. Let's look at the 4 hour here. 4 hours kind of neutral, bouncing off the overbought zone, bouncing off the oversold zone. Not really too telling. 1 hour is weak, but you are overbought or oversold right now, so you could be turning around. That's kind of encouraging, but and you've been oversold for a little bit, and you're not seeing dramatic follow through. Volumes dying off. I would think you probably do hold this area. If you were to go lower, I don't think you'll go too much lower. I'm not anticipating that you'll break that low by this point in time. I would think you're getting ready to make your next leg up at some point. And that'll probably take you up. You're at about 5 cents now, just under 5 cents, right? Sitting at 4.9. That would take you at least to 7.2 to maybe 8.3, somewhere in there. Previous areas of resistance over here. And being that this is such a small relative fib, you could see deeper extensions for sure, up to 10 cents or more. Top to bottom here, let's just see. I mean, it looks like you already hit a deep extension with this one, so yeah, seeing deeper extensions could be a thing for sure with this. Let's see. I want to go back on this top to bottom. Close this out. Look at that. Significant. You're finding respect on that 0.5 everywhere, man. Leading me to believe, because this is support on your 0.5. You checked back right here, sure. And it's a 382 level as well. So finding support on your 0.5 after seeing it being significant, I think on every fib I've drawn, except for like the one that I just drew before this, you found significance on your 0.5. So I think that you will hold this area. I think that once you break through this, you've got, based on this fib, you'd go to just under, or actually right around 8 cents. Yeah, potentially to 9 cents. And, you know, all in all, whenever you're ready to move higher, if you have a positive reaction with this white zone here, I would think that you see a 23 to a 40.6 cent price target. Let's look at this on a weekly real quick. Yeah, that would make sense to me. This realm of expectations, as I like to call it, right, the golden extension itself and then the minimum expected extension itself, that's like previous areas of resistance here, previous areas of support as well. So I think that would make sense to me. I want to look at the RSIs a little bit again. Let me just see. Weekly RSI getting above the 50, that's big shit, man. That's definitely a good thing. I've done all the fibs I need to do. Looks good to me, man. It looks pretty good to me. I like the daily. The 4 hour is a bit questionable, but the 1 hour, you know, it is oversold right now. It is technically weak, but you're not getting too weak of reactions. I say that, and you have dropped, you know, in the last like 6 hours, you've dropped 11% overall. So you've definitely moved a little bit down, but let's see if you can turn this around, get above these highs here, start making some moves up again. I think you will. I don't think you're going to go below this low. I think this will hold as support overall. This overall, what was it, from down here to up there, this 0.5, I think is going to hold. And then if you can start closing days, keep closing days, not start closing days, keep closing days above this 382. By the next time that you see this 236, you're probably going to break it, because you got like a triple tap up here, and you haven't broken your 382 yet. Generally, with this kind of look, I would expect that you would go to your 61869 area, but you're just not getting that bullish follow through on the shorter, or the bearish follow through on the shorter time frame. So I'm kind of hopeful that you will hold this 5 cent area and close above it for close above the 382 and continue building prices higher. If you do close below this 382, I know I said 4.5 cents is the real kicker to go down here, but I think closing below about 4.99 cents, closing below 5 cents could be a little bit of a scare that you need also to potentially get going lower. Obviously, I think that 4.5 level, 4.5 cent level is more significant, but closing below the 382 would scare me a little bit and make me think that this might be your next target instead of higher prices first. But at the moment, I think you do have higher to go. Maybe you're consolidating right now. It doesn't, just because I think you have higher to go doesn't mean it's going to happen today or tomorrow. It could, but maybe it happens in a week or 2 weeks or something like that. I would think by the end of this year, though, you could see prices above this high. That's kind of my expectation at the moment. I think that you could and probably do see prices above that high. Strength in the daily, strength in the weekly. You just got above the I think you're gonna make some strides. One more thing. Let me just see. All right. Is that the right? That's the right one there. Yeah, I think so. I think you'll be above that. So that's all I got for plugin. Let's move on to Lunacy here. Or maybe as the Luna faithfuls want to call it, just Terra Classic. But let's see here. Just on crypto, yeah, sure. Very bullish, right? Very bullish past couple of days. This is a coin that degens are buying, man, and probably selling. I don't know if I would touch this thing with a 10-foot pole and another 10-foot pole pushing, man. This is, you know, with that being said, it's oftentimes the things that everybody knows about but nobody wants to see succeed, or they know about it but they're like, I'm not going to touch that no matter what, and then they just run away from you. Like, it absolutely could go higher, but assuming that this thing is the POS that it is, unfortunately, you know, it was victim to an algorithm attack. Do Kwon got in trouble. It wasn't necessarily his fault, man. I don't know. That's just my belief. Everybody's got their own beliefs on the matter. You know, it depends on the stories that you hear, I guess. But seeing this retracement to the 61869 after such an onslaught to the downside, I wouldn't be surprised if this was significant resistance. And if you were to continue going higher, which I don't think you will, but if you were to go higher, I would expect you to at least pull back to this 382 level. You're sitting at about 3022 right now. That would be a roughly like 40 to 50% pullback. And generally speaking, with the 382, you probably would wick a little bit below it. Previous area of support down here as well, and previous area of resistance back here. Previous area of like resistance there, even a little bit below is resistance too. So yeah, you could see like a 40 to 50% pullback. Again, I wouldn't touch this thing, man. Very overbought. Your last overbought zone over here, you have lower highs, higher highs. That's hidden bearish divergence. Although that's so stretched out, it's so far apart, I wouldn't technically call it. It is to some degree, but it isn't at the same time, right? What else could we do with this? Don't get me wrong, man. Again, it might be a POS, and it might not have like anything going for it really other than price moving up. But if you get a bounce in this overbought zone, you absolutely could see another run up. I do believe that you'll pull back to that 382 area, and I think that this will hold as resistance. But maybe if you were to get another run up, it just gives you some bearish divergence, and then you go down, something like that. You know, based off of this, just from top to bottom, maybe if you were to go up, you go to 303, 3035, somewhere in that area. You might not though, man. You really might not. Let's see. I want to pull this back up again. Top to bottom. I mean, that 3035 is the 786. You could go up there. Previous resistance there. You could, yeah. but I would advise caution. You know, definitely take profits if you're looking to get into this thing. To be fair, you do have hidden bullish divergence on your 4 hour. Holding this 50 area, it doesn't look bad at all. I'd like to see something with some volume on it. Does this, yeah, volume doesn't look bad to me. Yeah, it might be making another run up, man. It might make another run up. You know, this is that initial, like, puts it back on the radar. Everyone's like, no way, stay away from this thing. And then it goes up more, and then everyone's like, oh, maybe I should get in here. And then poof, just to the downside. You know what I mean? I do think it goes lower at some point. I don't know. If I was getting in on this, I would have a very strict schedule for selling once we got above this high here. And I kind of am assuming that you do go above this high by the end of this year. But I can be wrong. You know, I've been wrong before, I'll be wrong again. But to be completely fair, yes, I would say that I do think you go higher. But even with that in mind, I wouldn't be buying this personally. But, you know, if you go to that 786 from the current price, you could see like a 50 to 60% increase. Maybe it goes higher. Maybe I'm lowballing this thing, man, but I don't know. I don't know. I also don't keep up with the times. I don't know if there's anything, like if there's some like big news event that's going on with this that's driving it. Maybe there's new devs who are taking over the project or something. I don't know. But who cares about the news, man? As far as like the technicals go, I would assume that you do move up higher, and then inevitably you're probably going to retrace back. You know, with this kind of crazy growth, having a pullback is normal, at least back to like previous areas of resistance or support, something like that. And if we go back to the, let's just see, go all the way back. I didn't need to click it like that, but all the way back to here. I mean, that's your 382, previous areas of resistance there. It would make sense to me. Previous area of support, even, you checked it right there. So again, being at 3013, maybe a little bit lower than that even. Kind of in that area. So that's what I got for lunacy. I think it goes up. I do think it goes up from here. But inevitably it will have a pullback. Where to? If I had to assume, probably to 3013 or lower is what I would think. Moving on from there, we're going to be talking about SNT. What is SNT? Status, whatever you want to call it. Very bullish day there, right? Nice bull day, and then gave it all back. A lot of volume, holding this 50 level. Holding, let me see here. Definitely looks strong, looks productive. Let's give it a, oh, this is a 4 hour. Okay, that was the 4 hour. Daily looks good too, though. 4 hour looks pretty productive as well, right? Hidden bullish divergence, you're in an uptrend, all the things. You kind of found resistance. Oh, yeah, not too bad, though. You still have faith. Or there's still, I shouldn't say faith. You still have hope. You still have hope. Similar, right? I don't know. Let's see here. Top to bottom. All the way up to your 618. And yeah, it was a scam wick, man. I bet you go higher. I do. I bet you go higher from here. I think that was your low. You probably don't go below 4.4 cents. I bet you hold that level. If anything, you're probably going to continue to move higher. The 4 hour looks really bullish. The daily looks decent. Weekly is looking like it wants to bounce off this overbought zone. Very strong signal. And generally speaking, when you get that, I would expect that you see prices higher than this. So you're sitting at about 4.5 cents right now. You could very well see a move up to about 9 cents or higher, maybe even to 11.5 cents by the end of the year. I like it. I think it looks decent. Yeah. Not a whole lot of volume, but whatever. You know, it's okay. Volume where it counts, I suppose. Let's see if there's anything else we can use. Maybe USDT. USDT it. I don't know. Yeah, the one thing I have a problem with, I guess, is the volume, but whatever. 4 hour looks good, daily looks good, probably wants to go higher. And again, just because I'm saying that I think that it will go above this high, potentially to 9 to 11.5 cents by the end of the year, that doesn't mean that it's going to happen today, though it will happen in a short amount of time, right? We only have about 25 days left in the year. On this chart, we only have 24 days left. So, right? Yeah. So, you know, it might not seem like it's happening quick if it doesn't happen today or tomorrow, but it's definitely, you know, I think that it is going to happen quick overall. But don't be, don't get FOMO whenever you see these little scam wicks happen. It looks like you like to do this stuff, on your way up. And then I guess, I don't know, here you had a straight pump. You might see something like that, or really you might just kind of like climb your way up to this previous area where you found resistance, and then you'll break. That's kind of my expectation. So you probably move up to there, consolidate a little bit, and then break. That's kind of my expectation. But that's all I got for this one. Let's move on to MATIC to finish this up. MATIC is probably the best one that we've talked about so far, right? Or I should say Polygon, right? That's what they want to be, is Polygon. Or that's what they are. It's Polygon. Let's see. Low to top. Holding the 382, touching the 236. Strong move, 382 support. Weekly RSI or daily RSI looks strong. Let's see the weekly. Weekly RSI is it's decent. It's not bad. On the weekly, I like this look a lot more on the weekly, man, because not only are you holding that 382, but you're also on a weekly closing period here. You're holding it on a closing period here as well. Resistance, support, previous areas of support, previous areas of support. I like it. I do like it. Yeah. With that, I would think that you see extensions off of this potentially by the end of the year. If not, definitely by the Bitcoin halving. You're sitting at about 82 cents now. You can see prices above $1, $6, $7 at the 1272, maybe even up to $1.19 at the golden extension, the 1618 itself. You could see deeper retrace or extensions though. You could see deeper extensions for sure, because this is a pretty small range to use in itself. You kind of have like a cup and handle. I hate using that, man, but it does kind of look like a cup and handle. And with that, I think the measure move would be right from the bottom of the handle, if I'm not mistaken. Depends on how you want to draw it, I suppose. But yeah, look at that. Right up to your 2272. Literally picture perfect previous areas of resistance and support. Wouldn't be crazy to see prices by the end of the year, if not before the halving, all the way up at like $1.50, $1.40. Bullish on MATIC. On the daily and the weekly alone, bullish on MATIC. 4 hour looks strong, looks resilient for sure, yeah. The green line is slanted down. What are you doing with your long term? I think you're fine, man. I think you're fine. This is going to start sloping up soon, so I think you're fine. Yeah, I like it. I like the 4 hour. I like the daily. I like the weekly. 1 hour looks a little bit weaker, but still decent, right? Higher lows. Yeah, higher lows in price, lower lows in RSI. That's hidden bullish divergence. You are spending most of your time above the 50, a little bit of time below it, but that's okay. I think you'll go higher. If you go down from here, it's not going to be by much. That's kind of my expectation. So, let's see. Yeah, I think you're going higher. I think it won't be before long that you take that high out and you see prices above $1. So that's all I got for you guys. If I had to pick a winner out of all these coins, if I had to, as far as like overall growth goes, in a very short amount of time, it might be lunacy. It might be. I like MATIC the most, though, man. I feel like MATIC deserves the title because it's probably the most secure bet out of anything. It's probably the most secure. Lunacy is definitely degenning. SNT, status, whatever you want to call it, it has a bit of a question mark to me. I do think it goes higher, but just there's I don't know enough about it. And then PLI, I think it looks decent too, but I guess, I don't know. If I had to be genuine with what I think is going to do the best in the shortest amount of time, it'd probably be Lunacy. But that's not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Again, I was saying that I think it's a POS, so I'm not buying it. I wouldn't recommend anybody buy it, but if I'm just being fair here, not being biased, that's what I got for you guys. So if you liked the video, hit that thumbs up, hit that like button, subscribe if you'd like to see more. And if you have any requests, feel free to leave them in the comments. Join the Discord. I'll leave a link in the description to join the Discord. And yeah, that's all I got for you guys. So take care. Have a good day. Good night. And load up on some crypto, guys. We only got so much time before the halving's upon us. So load up. Load up. Load up. You guys, funny story, actually. For anybody who's still here. You can see it. Let's blow my face up real quick. This is not crypto related at all. This is a C-Zar special. Okay, so you see in my eye here, where is it? It would be on this side. There's red there, but like I think there's red there too. Whichever part's more red. I think it was this side, but it looks like it's over here. I don't know. Whenever I was younger, I was dealing with some plants, and they had this netting in them, right? And there's this little thing poking out of it. And I'm like coming in to like snip these plants. I was doing some gardening work, and it went right in my eye, man. I couldn't see out of my eye for like days, but it's perfectly clear. It just got in the whatever the white part is. It didn't get in the iris, I think, or like the part that you see with. But it hurt, man. It hurt a lot. And I didn't see it because it was so thin. It was this like thin little plastic thing. I'm like it's like when something's like right in your field of vision, you just can't. I literally like it impaled me, man. But hey, that's a little bit more personal than I get. But there you go. That's because I leaned in and I could see how red my eyes were, and I was like, hey, I'm not high. That's just permanent. It's always there. And with that, I leave you. So have a good day. Bye bye.